Hi, this is Kimberly Knox, KK, your astrologer and personal astrological success coach. I am back with my videos. The last one was done before the eclipse in September, and I predicted that things would really be triggered by October 25th and then through November, and of course around the holidays when everything was churning. We were in the midst of changes, and now we are in January, a time when it's exciting to lay out new plans for a new year. And surely we have got the ability to create success like never before. We're actually being given a little bit of time though this January, because we have Mercury, the planet that rules our thinking, thoughts, commerce, our daily routine and activity. It's going to be going retrograde. It's going to help us get our plan together. So my whole theme for January 2016 is really about preparing for excellence. Now, why do I say that? We have Mars now. Just this morning, Mars went into the planet of the sign of Scorpio. So Mars in Scorpio is really giving us this power, this intensity to move forward with action. It's not held back. In Libra, went into Mars, went into Libra, and it's been there for a while. We were working on our relationships, our cooperation skills, and reaching out to others, gaining the cooperation that we needed, mending our relationships, growing our relationships so that could support us in this new. Now with Mars moving into Scorpio, there's this intensity that is going to allow us to really move forward with a lot of passion and intensity and force like never before. It's also going to start to trigger all those little areas that Saturn noted when it was in the sign of Scorpio, asking us to move on, leave some things behind, take all the goodies in our life and go forward with them, and leave the stuff that's been toxic or that no longer is going to be supportive of who we are in the future. So, Mercury retrograde, do not be afraid of Mercury retrograde. It's wonderful. It's actually terrific, except for the day that it stations and the day that it goes direct. So, there's a big story that plays out in the sky when Mercury goes retrograde. Mercury is the planet of information. It's the messenger of the zodiac. And the sun, which is the CEO, needs that information to make decisions. Well, the sun this week is getting supercharged as well. It just as Mercury went into the sign of Aquarius the beginning of January. Along the same time, the moon was in an action cardinal sign Libra, so we were being very active over the last few days, and our mindset is going on innovation and new and ways that we can break out of the box. But what Mercury's going to have to do is back up, and we're going to have to get the plan together. So also this week we have the sun. The sun is getting into the play with those outer planets. Now the outer planets, Uranus and Pluto, have been asking us to upgrade our position, to come to this point of transformation that allows an authentic part of us to come through. Now on a global basis, that's been witnessed in many tragedies, weather disasters, things like this, where we've actually had to really pay attention to the forces and just be known that there's a level of consciousness that we're all connected. And but on a personal level, we're making big changes, and change isn't easy. We're having to get used to being uncomfortable, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So we're getting a little time here to really regroup in January, because in February, which is the start of the Chinese New Year, it's the start of the fire monkey, and this is very powerful year in many ways we're going to see play out. But on a personal level, that's what I'm talking about. And we all want to achieve our success, and there's been a lot of frustrations, I would say, maybe over the last 7 years at least, since Pluto has been in the sign of Capricorn, like churning and rebuilding our foundations. And then 3 years ago, when Uranus and Pluto, those outer planets, started squaring up, and we had 7 exact squares that finished up just last year in March. So So we're really going to be able to get into position to really start moving on this new life that we've really been creating, because it's all been about creating new foundations. So the story of the Mercury retrograde is it's already been in its shadow. It went into its shadow on the 19th of December. And so we start to get a glimpse of, some things that we've got to pay attention to. When it's in Capricorn, it's serious, it's responsible. And as Mercury was moving around, it meets up with Pluto in Uranus. Okay, so this is some serious planning and some serious movement in lines with going towards something new and intentions that bring out this authentic part, this new thing that we're trying to create. It's also meeting up with Jupiter, giving us a sense of enthusiasm and lightness that we can do this in support. Two earth signs getting together and saying, okay, if you do the work, you can achieve this. So right before Mercury goes retrograde on Tuesday morning, it's going to square up with Mars. So there's a push now. And this is going to, so on your morning commute, this, let's say on January the 5th at 9 a.m. in the morning, that's when it's going to be going retrograde stationing. So get used to, sometimes the traffic gets all crazy. Your phones get crazy. Anything that's electrical, things are going to break down in your house that need to be fixed. Maybe you've already been fixing things. But this is just normal because we need to pay attention and get everything fixed and ready to go. The midway point of this Mercury retrograde is January the 14th, and that's when we get this aha moment. So you need to use your eyes, pay attention during January 5th to the 14th, because we're getting the information that we need, things we have been waiting on, contracts, people, phone calls, things that have been stalled are coming back to us so that we can sort out the details and move forward. Now, in the midst of all of this, of course, we're having a new moon. The new moon in Capricorn is on Saturday. And the new moon in Capricorn, Capricorn's ruler is Sagittarius. Sagittarius, is Saturn, and it's in the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is giving a little bit of lightness to the normal total serious Saturn energy. Is saying look to the future with enthusiasm, be open to learning new things. Well, it's meeting with Venus on Friday night, and that's a real reality check. And it just says what's real in your life. This is what Saturn wants to know, and Capricorn wants to know what's real, what can I count on, and what's lasting. And those are the things we've been building. If you go back to the Venus retrograde, when it conjoined the Sun back in January 2014, this whole Venus retrograde was about get rid of the superficial relationships in your life. You're trying to build something that's going to last. You need love and money and everything, that's stuff that's real, stuff that's going to last, because if you have cracks in your foundation, whatever you're building will sooner or later fall. So you must keep this strong. And we've been going through all sorts of transitions, but at 20 degrees of Capricorn, that's where the Venus and Sun came together. Now the new moon is going to be right around there at 19 degrees. So it's kind of activating that whole area. And so what were you building then? And we just had the full moon in Cancer, and that was the results of what we were trying to put forth in the summer of 2014. So around family and new family traditions and new family roles and how that looks, and people have been making changes in that area as well. So this is really going to be, we're really going to be able to manifest the promise of these changes and what we've been trying to do. And we really get the energy to move forward, because on that new moon, the Sun and Pluto are together, and that is massive transformation. So anyone with birthdays, Capricorns with birthdays around the 6th, 7th, and 8th of January, this is a major time. This is transformation like never before. You are going to be upgraded. You are going to be improved. And you've been feeling this for the last maybe 2 years at least. So this is a really amazing time, and Mercury's going to help us, because Mercury is going back into Capricorn by January the 8th. It's in Uranus right now. It's in Aquarius right now. but it's going back because it says you need to get your plan together. So as Mercury's moving around, it's touching by retrograde Pluto and Uranus again, and it's so while it's making this whole transformation, it's meeting up with the outer planets 3 times, and this is huge. So if you actually look at the chart of the new moon, the chart of the new moon is it's Mercury ruled because it's a Virgo rising. So the ruler of the entire chart is 29 degrees of Capricorn, and it's retrograde. So really, you're not going to see the results of this new moon, these intentions that you're putting forth, until toward the end of January. And that's fine, because it's all going to come together like right at last quarter. So you see that Mercury goes direct on January the 25th, but it meets up for the 3rd time with Pluto on January the 30th, and then again with Uranus on the 31st. So it's really, we're really going to be turning over our goals and our plans and going forward with some real solid, masterful plan of responsibility, and just really reworking also our daily schedule and routine. And we're going to have to, because we're integrating some new stuff in our life, and then we can really get going with it. So if you're willing to do the work, be responsible, because they say you can't push people. If you're going to create something, it's up to you. But we have all the support around us. That's what we've been gathering during this time, during the time of Mars and Libra. We've been gathering the cooperation that we need. We've been forging the relationships that are required. And now we can go forward with energy and passion. So this week is extremely important. Pay attention. The sun is going to be pushing us forward at this meeting with Pluto and Uranus, and we're gearing up toward Saturday's new moon in Capricorn. So you want to lay out your intentions the night before so that you can move forward, and pay attention to information in all forms and people that are coming out to give us that information. I want to thank you all who have been following me on Instagram. I give lively, inspirational messages, images on a daily basis, and that also funnels into my Facebook. But thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel here, and I am excited to get out more videos as we go along. Have a wonderful night.